The invaders demanded Earth's surrender, then faced a species that never yields. High above the ecliptic plane, where the light of distant suns barely touched the cold void, the conquest armada of the Vorak Dominion assembled in silent, perfect order. 70,000 vessels, wedge-shaped dreadnoughts plated in midnight alloy, swarms of dagger-like interceptors, colossal world breakers that could crack moons with a single discharge, formed a crescent that spanned light hours. At its center floated the flagship Eternal Mandate, a spire of obsidian and plasma conduits taller than some planets were wide. The Vorak were not cruel by nature. They were efficient. For 8,000 cycles, they had expanded without pause, absorbing species after species into the Dominion. Resistance was met with overwhelming force, then erasure. Surrender was offered once. Acceptance brought order, protection, purpose. Refusal brought only silence. High War Master Korath Vex stood on the command dais, his segmented armor gleaming under crimson lights. 6 limbs, each ending in razor talons, rested calmly on the tactical rail. His compound eyes scanned the holographic projection of the blue world below, saw through, called Earth by its inhabitants. "Intelligence confirms," his adjunct intoned, voice a low rasp through respiratory vents. "The humans number 8 billion. Their space capability is limited to a handful of orbital stations and sublight vessels. No unified military doctrine, no planetary defense grid worthy of the name. They are fractious, individualistic, prone to internal conflict." Korath's mandibles parted in what might have been satisfaction. "Then the edict will be simple. Transmit on all frequencies." The message went out in every known language, synthesized from intercepted broadcasts, etched into radio waves, laser pulses, even modulated gravity ripples. It was calm, absolute, final. People of Earth, this is the Vorak Dominion. Your world is now under our protection. Lay down all weapons. Cease all organized resistance. Prepare for integration teams. Compliance ensures survival. Defiance ensures extinction. You have one planetary rotation to signal unconditional surrender. On Earth, the message arrived simultaneously in every city, every bunker, every phone, every screen. Panic flickered, then hardened. In a reinforced command center buried beneath the Swiss Alps, General Maria Reyes watched the alien transmission loop. Around her, representatives from every major power sat in tense quiet. No one shouted, no one despaired. They had prepared for this day longer than most realized. "They're not even asking for tribute," Reyes said quietly. "They want us gone, our identity." "Our will." Admiral Janway leaned forward. "We knew this might come. The probes we sent out decades ago, some came back changed, rewritten. The galaxy doesn't like independence." A young aide spoke up. "Public response is not what they expected. Riots in some places, yes, but mostly, people are arming. Factories are running triple shifts. Volunteers are flooding recruitment centers. Even the holdouts, the isolationists, are saying the same thing." Reyes allowed a thin smile. "And what are they saying?" The aide met her eyes. "No surrender, not now. Not ever." The Vorak waited. One full Terran day passed. No white flags rose from the surface. No transmissions of capitulation arrived. Instead, something else began. Small craft, civilian shuttles, refitted cargo haulers, even private yachts, lifted from every continent. They carried no heavy weapons, only determination and improvised sensors. They spread out in chaotic patterns, forming no recognizable formation, yet somehow filling the space between Earth and the approaching armada like grains of sand in a storm. Korath watched the display with growing irritation. "What is this, a gesture? A distraction?" "Unknown, War Master," the adjunct replied. "Their vessels lack shielding, lack armament beyond primitive kinetics. They will be annihilated in the first volley." "Yet they come," Korath murmured. Something stirred in his lower thorax, an unfamiliar sensation. Curiosity, perhaps, or the first whisper of unease. The armada advanced. World breakers moved to high orbit. Dreadnoughts formed blockade spheres. Interceptors swept forward to clear the path. The human ships did not flee. They accelerated, straight into the teeth of the fleet. The first volley from Vorak lances turned hundreds to vapor. Silent flashes lit the black. But for every ship destroyed, 3 more appeared. launched from hidden yards in the asteroid belt, from underwater silos, from mobile launchers on the dark side of the moon. They were not warships in any conventional sense. They were seeds, carriers of something far more dangerous. Each carried a payload, not bombs, not missiles, but people. Volunteers, not soldiers. Scientists, not families. Thousands upon thousands sealed in armored escape pods, cryogenic suspension, or simply strapped into crash couches with nothing but faith and fury. They slammed into Vorak shields at fractional light speed, most disintegrated on impact. But some, designed with layered ablative hulls and precise angle calculations, pierced just enough. Not to destroy, to deliver. Boarding parties. Human beings in powered exosuits, armed with breaching charges, plasma cutters, and an unbreakable refusal to kneel. Inside the Eternal Mandate, alarms wailed. Breach teams materialized in corridors, hangars, engine decks. Vorak Marines responded instantly. Disciplined, merciless. They cut down the first waves with railguns and neuro-disruptors. But the humans kept coming. A squad of Vorak cornered a human fire team in a secondary reactor chamber. The lead Marine leveled his weapon. "Surrender, you cannot win." The human sergeant, blood streaming from a gash across her visor, laughed. A short, sharp sound that echoed strangely in the alien acoustics. "Surrender?" she said. "That's not how this works." She triggered a shaped charge. The reactor shielding buckled. Not enough to detonate the ship, but enough to flood the compartment with radiation. The Voraks screamed as their carapaces cracked under the onslaught. The humans endured, their suits sealed. Their bodies fought the damage with stubborn biochemistry. They pushed forward. Across the fleet, the same scene repeated in 1,000 variations. Humans boarded, fought, died, and kept fighting. They did not seek victory through superior firepower. They sought to make every meter cost more than the Vorak could afford. Korath stared at the cascading casualty reports. Entire boarding parties wiped out, only for fresh waves to arrive. Human vessels continued to ram, continued to disgorge troops. The Armada's formation began to fray as ships diverted power to internal security. "How?" he demanded. "They are inferior in every metric. Why do they not break?" An elder tactician, long silent, spoke from the shadows. "Because they do not fight for territory, or resources, or even survival alone. They fight for the idea that no one, nothing, gets to tell them who they are." Korath felt the deck tremble as another boarding charge detonated nearby. For the first time in 8,000 cycles, doubt entered his mind. On Earth, the surface watched. Billions held their breath as feeds showed humans, ordinary people, boarding alien warships. A teacher from Mumbai led a squad through a dreadnought's corridors. A farmer from Kansas held a breach point with nothing but a welding torch and rage. A teenager from Lagos piloted a suicide shuttle straight into an interceptor bay, giving her boarding team seconds to breach. They were not superhumans. They bled. They burned. They died in droves. Yet the line never wavered. Hours stretched into days. The Vorak Armada, invincible on paper, began to falter. Ships went dark, not destroyed, but paralyzed by internal fighting. Crews exhausted, munitions depleted on containment rather than conquest. Korath stood alone on the bridge now. Most of his staff lay dead or wounded. Human voices echoed through hacked comms, singing, cursing, laughing, weeping. Defiant to the last. He opened a channel to the planet below. "People of Earth," he said, voice stripped of ceremony. "Your resistance is unprecedented. We offered order. You chose chaos. We offered mercy. You chose defiance. Tell me, why?" A single voice answered. General Reyes patched through from the Alpine bunker. "Because we are human," she said simply. "We fall, we fail. We hurt. But we get back up, always. You can kill us. You can burn our world. But you will never make us yield. Not while one of us still breathes." Silence stretched across the void. Korath looked at the tactical display. His fleet, once a crescent of unbreakable might, was now a scattered, bleeding thing. Humans still poured from every shadow, every rock, every hidden launch site. He closed his eyes. Mandibles clicked once in acknowledgement. "Withdraw," he ordered. "All ships, full retreat. We will not return." The Armada turned. Slowly at first, then faster, fleeing back toward the jump points they had so confidently emerged from. Pursuit was minimal. Humanity had spent everything it had in the defense. But the message was sent. In the aftermath, as damaged ships limped home and repair crews worked through the nights, the galaxy began to whisper. They had demanded surrender from a species that did not know how. They had faced an enemy that viewed defeat not as an end, but as a temporary state. And in every relay station, every outpost, every listening post, the same truth settled like dust after a storm. Humans could be broken, they could be killed, they could be pushed to the edge of extinction, but they would never yield. And for the first time, the galaxy understood what it truly meant to be human. If this story moved you, subscribe for more human stories from the stars.